Hello everyone, this is Brandon Bledsoe from the 3 Percenters Club Tennessee chapter and Puget Sound Preppers, here to give you another video. This one's going to be shorter than some of our other ones, I just want to say no one thing deserves just one video overall. This will not be an entire bug out vehicle video. This will just be about one portion. But with that said, I'd like to give each item in certain cases a video. So this time we're just going to cover refueling, and that to me is something I worry about because I drive a beast of a vehicle here, and even this one's not going to stay this way. It's just as soon as that one's fixed, it'll become my vehicle for bugging out. But fuel is something I worry about, even though I'm relatively close to my destination. You should always have extra fuel if you can, and that way, because I mean, in a true situation, whether it's a man-made disaster or not, odds are you're probably not going to be able to or want to stop for gas, not in the conventional sense anyway, and you don't want to have to be in that much of a public eye in my mind. And like I've said before, my hope is that I can stay with my vehicle and continue to use it, because I won't just throw my bag in here. I'll throw all of my survival gear and all my preparation in here in all of its stages right up to my 10-day box. And then if I do have to abandon the vehicle, I'll abandon various stages of things, but that's you want to keep as much as you can ready to go. So let's talk a little bit about refueling here and the ways that I go about it. And there'll be some other things included, some handy tips and whatnot. So what do you see here? This is the back of my truck, and I'm sure you've seen plenty of trucks like this, especially in Tennessee. Looks like a pile of junk to me. Got a random pallet. Got what looks like a piece of a baby gate and an old tire with a rope around it, and of course the junky tarp. And I'm going to be switching this tarp out. It's a little large for what I want to do at the moment. But with that said, this is not just junk. This is urban camouflage. You don't want everybody to know you got good stuff. So let's climb up in and take a look. So we're going to pull back this pallet and the tire and the piece of a baby gate. And if you look here, I've got another pallet underneath this tarp, and that way I can just move it all at once. And there is the beginnings of my extra fuel and a jug of water. Now that water is not for drinking, but we'll get there. I've secured my fuel with a bike lock. I bought this at Walmart, and it's got a plastic cover over titanium core. And part of the reason I chose this one was because it has this little cover here to keep stuff out of the key slot, and I like that. And this is just so in case anybody does go digging past your urban camouflage, they won't find, or that way if they do find your gas, they can't just take it. Hopefully you'll never be too far from your vehicle if you're still using it, or you'll get somewhere safe. But I keep 10 extra gallons right now minimum. I'm hoping to add another 10 here soon. And I like these cans because they have watertight gaskets around these seals and everything here, and to help keep those intact and to make life easier on myself, when I refill out of those, I do not just pour the gasoline from them. I have this multi-use pump siphon, and no, I haven't cracked it open yet. I've had one like it before, but I feel the best way to keep it organized is to keep it in the package for now. And part of the reason I like it is because you don't have to start it yourself. You see it's got an intake hose and an output hose, and you can just sit there and pump, and that way all I've got to do is open up my gas can and run one hose to the can and one hose to the tank and just pump. And it prevents you from getting that nasty gasoline in your mouth. Another thing to consider is a lot of vehicles these days come equipped with something in the gas tank to try and prevent siphoning. And if you were trying to refill your cans from abandoned cars, you don't want to lose the hose that goes to that pump. So I carry extra hose. This is a 3/4 by 1/4 hose, and I carry a few extra feet of it, and that way I can kind of test the water, so to speak, on a gas tank and not lose my hose, because a lot of times those things make it hard for you to get your hose back too. But my 10 gallons of gas here will soon be loaded up with Stabil, to make it to where I don't have to rotate this but maybe once a year. And that's really good, because you don't want to be using it. You'll eventually find a way to get lazy or forget it or something, It just eliminates a little bit of diligence. Some other, the jug of water, yes, let's go back to that. The jug of water, since I'm using a plastic pump siphon, the jug of water is so that each time I'm done refueling or whatever, I can just stick the hose down there and clean out my siphon real quick to keep it from getting corroded or anything. So I just went ahead and put a gallon of water with this stuff, and it doesn't even have to be clean water really. That's just what it came with. But you want to keep that so you can clean your siphon. Some other handy things though about my urban camouflage, you'll notice I have a gigantic tarp that is a multi-use bug out item. I cannot carry this in my bag. That would be just a horrible waste of space. But I can keep it in my truck, and that way when I do go packing all of my bug out stuff in here, I have a tarp ready to go to put over it. Also, with my 2 pallets, if I do decide to stay near the truck but for some reason not in it, I can drag these out and use them kind of to make pre-made lean-tos. That way there's no foraging for branches or anything if I'm staying around the truck. I could even lean them up against the truck and stretch that tarp across it and make a kind of shelter there. Has a lot of different uses. And besides just being urban camouflage. And that's half the reason for the other junk here, is to keep the tarp kind of weighted down and to look like what it is, a truck full of garbage. So that's something for you to think about there, how to carry your extra fuel. With that one, I'll have to either carry a very small can in the back, or I'll have to strap it straight to the top. And that one will be a little bit harder to take out all the time because it's going to be harder to disguise that gas on the top. But if I were bugging out, I'd just go ahead and strap the gas on and be on my way. I would hopefully be able to defend those assets. But this has just been a brief thing on one step of your bug out vehicle here, and that's on how to refuel it and how to replenish that gasoline if you need it. I hope you've enjoyed this and found it helpful. My name is Brendan Bledsoe, and I'm with the 3 Percenters Club Tennessee and Puget Sound Preppers. Have a good Sunday, everybody.